The Chaos Wizard has fallen from grace, but never count out Charles Oliveira's dark magic. With unorthodox trickery and grappling sorcery, can this wildly creative Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu genius rise from the ashes to reclaim his lightweight throne? Or will his unique artistry be smothered by the relentless physicality of new blood? The unpredictable comeback story begins now. When Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan step into the octagon, it will be a delicious clash of vastly different fighting styles. In one corner, you have the wildly unorthodox and creative Oliveira. In the other, the relentless motor and forward-moving aggression of Tsarukyan. It's a true meeting of opposites that promises high-level violence and suspense from start to finish. The unpredictable wildcard. On paper, Charles Oliveira can come across as just another talented Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu player, a grappling ace looking to take the fight to the mat. But make no mistake, this man is a full offensive weapon capable of beating you anywhere the fight takes place. Sure, the big knockout punch from Wayne Silva rocked Oliveira and had him seeing double for a moment. But like a true warrior, he shook it off and immediately took Silva to the ground, submitting him in the very next round. It was the perfect response to getting cracked on the feet, using his grappling strengths to regain control. His ability to bite down on his mouthpiece and survive deadly situations is incredibly valuable. While outsiders claim Oliveira's striking hasn't evolved since his war with Islam Makhachev, that's simply not true. The man's hands are incredibly fast and creative, able to attack from all angles with unique combinations. His footwork is incredibly slick, allowing him to slip and rip with fight-ending power shots that come from nowhere. When he strings it all together into full offensive flows, it's a beautiful, confounding rhythm that leaves opponents bewildered. Rather than blitz foes with pure aggression, Charles is a cerebral gamesman who lures you into his back-crazy tricks. He'll batter you from a range with a barrage of crisp jabs and thudding leg kicks to open up his single-shot power punches. Or he'll slip into a slick takedown attempt, looking to take you into his world of grappling wizardry. It's that unpredictable grappling that truly separates Oliveira and makes him such a special challenge. The man is a legitimate black belt wizard on the ground with an uncanny ability to stay calm and slither his way into fight-ending chokes and joint attacks from seemingly innocent positions. Where other grapplers burn energy with explosive scrambles, Charles flows with offensive techniques that spend very little energy yet put his man in incredibly dangerous situations. The Relentless Warrior. While Oliveira fights with trickery and creative chaos, Arman Tsarukyan is the complete opposite. A swarming wall of non-stop pressure and relentless forward momentum. When this man starts charging, there's no stopping his furious aggression until someone's consciousness has been obliterated. From the very first bell, Tsarukyan comes forward like a runaway freight train, cutting off the cage behind a stinging jab and thundering leg kicks. His boxing is incredibly tight and technical, with the Armenian able to put together brutally precise combination strikes down the middle. The 1-2 straight down the pipe is his bread and butter, with the lightning-fast straight right hand cracking like a gunshot if it finds its home on the chin. But Tsarukyan's true strength is his elite wrestling game. This man is constantly looking for double leg takedowns or explosive body lock attempts. Make one slight mistake in your footwork or posture, and he will snatch your legs out from under you before you can blink. Once on top, the pile-driving pressure is absolutely relentless as he looks to grind opponents against the fence until their will is broken. Impressively, Arman has also rapidly evolved his submission grappling to stay unpredictable and dangerous from all positions. While he still prefers to punish foes on the ground with ground and pound, there are now legitimate threats of fight-ending chokes and joint attacks from top control to keep adversaries honest. Simply put, Tsarukyan is the ultimate rigidly structured counter to Oliveira's beautiful chaos. Where Charles aims to confuse and disorient, Arman walks forward with a tightly wrapped coil of constant pressure, not stopping until someone's unconscious body has to be peeled off the canvas. He's the mechanic's wrench to the Oliveira's magic wand. Breaking it down. So, how exactly can the ultra-creative Oliveira possibly overcome this overwhelming tsunami of forward pressure from Tsarukyan? Well, the first key will be surviving Arman's initial explosion of aggression and momentum. The Armenian comes out of his corner like a bat out of hell, instantly looking to bully Oliveira to the fence for control positions. Charles must use his slick footwork, head movement, and distance management to avoid getting cornered and muscled around in those opening heated exchanges. From there, the key for Oliveira is to start sprinkling in layers of his trickery and unpredictable volume. The more defensive moves Tsarukyan is forced to make, the more energy he will expend as Charles continues flowing effortlessly. A barrage of lightning jabs and body kicks can open up opportunities to dive for a slick takedown attempt of his own. If stuffed, Oliveira can instantly spring back to his feet and uncork huge power punches from new angles to keep the Armenian guessing. Circling away from the fence will be paramount for Charles. That's where Tsarukyan's physicality and top control can truly take over. By keeping his feet in open space, Oliveira can be far more evasive while simultaneously building up his high offensive output. If the fight does go to the ground, that's potentially Oliveira's biggest window thanks to his world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. While an excellent grappler himself, Tsarukyan's mat game is still largely focused on ground strikes and tight top control against the fence. Meanwhile, Charles has spent over a decade mastering every available submission attack from every angle and position imaginable. All it could take is one defensive lapse from Tsarukyan, and the creative Oliveira could force a fight-ending choke, joint lock, or rib-crushing squeeze out of seemingly nothing. Even from the bottom guard, Charles' submission threats are incredibly dangerous thanks to his technique and veteran savvy. The deeper this fight goes into grappling exchanges, the more perilous things get for Tsarukyan. Speaking of going deep, fatigue could truly be the X-factor that swings this fight decisively in Oliveira's favor. The more this war rages into the championship rounds, the more the frenetic scrambles and perpetual offensive output from Charles will drain Tsarukyan's finite gas tank. As the Armenian's footwork slows and defensive awareness wanes, he could suddenly find himself a sitting duck for many of Oliveira's fight-ending techniques. If Charles can make it to the 4th and 5th rounds, facing a visibly tired Tsarukyan with lowered hands, he can really go to work. His footwork will allow him to stay light and perpetually offensive, flowing around the sluggish incoming attacks while pouring on maximum damage with stinging combinations. One well-timed takedown or chaotic scramble could then lead to all sorts of submission finishing opportunities for the ever-creative Oliveira. In the end, this clash of styles comes down to one central question. Can Oliveira's technical brilliance, versatility, and ring IQ ultimately outlast and counter Tsarukyan's ferocious physicality and forward-moving pressure? It's the Magic Man's unique trickery versus the methodical brute force of the Armenian wrecking machine. The judges will surely have their hands full, taking in the compelling contrast between Oliveira's improvisational genius and Tsarukyan's rigidly by-the-book relentlessness. Do they reward the chaotic creative or the coldly calculated but overwhelming offense? No matter which man's hand is raised after this battle though, you can be certain that the fight itself will be an absolute spectacle, the likes of which fans haven't seen in ages. Both Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan are incredible mixed martial artists with contrasting but equally special skill sets. When they finally share the octagon, the ensuing chaos, violence, drama, and intriguing stylistic questions will make this a must-see modern classic. Buckle up and get ready for the wildest of rides when the wildcard creative genius meets the relentless warrior head-on. It's Oliveira's improvisational art against Tsarukyan's mechanical destruction. The only certainty is that by time the final bell rings, one of these two incredible fighters will be left battered and stunningly defeated thanks to the genius of the other. True violence is coming, and it promises to be equal parts mesmerizing and absolutely unforgettable.